Come to the book of Proverbs. Let's go to work. Proverbs. Last week we looked at the dating game. Today we're going to look at the mating game. I was going to ask how many of you were dating, then I was going to ask how many of you were mating, but I decided to stop that right there. But I want us to look at this issue of relationships. Now, I got a note from one of the seniors at our church, and she said, "Now, Pastor, I was about to write this off." She said, "I figured this was not for me." But her point is what I want to make to you now is that regardless of your domestic status, regardless of where you are, what season you are in life, there is a word for you. Because all that we're going to say will have application vertically, you and your relationship with God, and then horizontally, your other relationships in life. And so, lady simply wrote me and said, I was really blessed by it, really encouraged by it. I want to be a part of it. Because again, we're going to learn today that God's going to say some things that have to do with you and Him, you and your relationship with God, you and your spiritual relationship, regardless of your domestic situation, regardless of your emotional status right now, regardless of your relational status. And so listen very carefully. And then you're going to also see that some things that we're going to learn today are going to come back and be applied later on the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Proverbs chapter 3. Let's go to work. Proverbs chapter 3. Pick me up at verse 5. Verse 5. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. One more time. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, King James says, and lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. So the exhortation begins with a call related to your relationship with God. Trust in the Lord. It's the idea of depositing your trust in God, depositing your reliance in God, deposit your trust in God with all of your heart, your very being. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And in all your ways, stop right there for a minute. In all of your ways, acknowledge God. Stop right there. In all of thy ways, acknowledge Him. Trust in the Lord. Put your trust, put your faith, put your reliance in God with confidence. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Put all of your trust in Him and don't trust your own understanding. I just lost half y'all right there. Because if you're not careful, you will approach the things of the Spirit with one part of your mind and the things of this world with another part of your mind. Be careful of compartmentalized lives. Let me say it again. Beware that you do not live compartmentalized lives. So that you have one part of your life over here that you're praising God, worshiping God, etc. And you have another part of your life that you control yourself. Be careful that you don't have one compartment on Sunday morning at around about 10:30. And another part totally devoid, totally separated from what you're doing here last night, Friday night. So that you live your lives in compartments. This is God over here, and this is me. And so the Bible says that we are to acknowledge God in all of our ways, in all of our ways. So here's the first thing that relates to relationships. Before you get into a relationship, even if you're in one now, but certainly before you get into one, you must make the decision that you will acknowledge God in this relationship. Don't rush past that. So if you don't have one yet, then your commitment is, Lord, now, when I get into this relationship, I'll acknowledge you. Go a step further. If you're in one now, Lord, I lift up this relationship to honor you. It's a commitment. It is a decision of how you will live your life. And the exhortation is that you will live your life trusting in God. And in everything that you do, you acknowledge God. God is in this, God is in this, God is in this. Can you say that God is in every relationship that you're in? In all thy ways, acknowledge him. Don't trust your own understanding. Come before God and trust God with a confidence. Here it is. And he will direct your path. Direct path is, God directing your path is more than just him giving you instructions. It's deeper than that. The word implies, a path implies a road. Actually, it implies a crooked road. And when the Bible says that God will direct your path, it means he will make those crooked places straight. He will straighten out your path. He will lead you in a straight path. So here we go. You get this part, you're halfway home on the message. So today you're going to use your sanctified imagination, and you're going to regard, you're going to assume, you're going to look at relationships, especially emotional, personal, love relationships. You're going to look at them as a journey. Give it to you that you got it. You're halfway home. So that you're going to use your imagination. You're going to imagine that going into a relationship or being in a relationship is like traveling on a road or traveling on a journey. He will direct your path. He will direct the roads that you travel, the trails that you travel. Isn't it interesting that the very word for prosper is a word that is related to the root word that means a road, a trail, a way, or a path? So that when you prosper, the Bible talks about how God will order your steps on a journey that leads to prosperity, but it is a journey. And it is a journey on a road, on a trail, on a path, on a street. It is a journey. So first of all that we're going to learn today is with the metaphor, is with the picture of moving into a relationship on a journey. Life is a journey. You're moving into a journey. Getting into a relationship is like being on a journey. Falling in love is like being on a journey. May you be so blessed. Falling in love is like being on a journey. Moving into a relationship is like being on a journey. Now. So you got that part. There are at least two ways to make a journey. If time is an element, then you want to move as fast as possible. If you are sensing that there's a clock ticking somewhere, maybe every birthday, can I get a witness? But if there's this element of time, then you want to make the journey as fast as possible. So now the fastest possible way to travel nowadays, fastest way, is to travel by air. And so we're going to look at relationships as a journey by air. The kids who just sang, they travel by air. They travel by air here from Tokyo. So here we go. So you're getting into a relationship, and it is like traveling by air. Now, you'll have to decide what role you will play in this journey and what role your partner will play in this journey, okay? Because there are different ways to travel. Example. If you're going to fly, Peter Pan can fly. Does anybody remember Peter Pan? And Peter Pan flew fast, and he was cute. So here's somebody cute that moves fast, like Peter Pan. Now the only problem with Peter Pan is he never grew up. And so, yeah, some of you will be attracted to Peter Pans. But Peter Pans never grow up. Cute. I just got through saying don't trust your understanding. And first thing y'all want to know is how cute is the brother or the sister. But maybe they're like Peter Pan, who never grew up. Now, if you're looking for a boy, we got a whole nother conversation. I ain't got time for that. But if you're trying to get into a grown-up relationship, you need a grown man. What you need is, you can't be looking for Peter if Peter is still a little boy. Can I get a witness up in here? God, I'm trying to help somebody today. So we men must decide until we grown. You don't play grown folks games. Preach, Bishop. But you're moving fast. Peter Pan flies fast. You're gonna fly. You're gonna travel by air. Peter Pan can get you there. Bam. But Peter is still a little boy. Okay, y'all didn't like Peter. Okay, Superman can fly. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Faster than a speeding bullet. Bend steel with his bare hands. Muscle bound, good looking man. But he ain't real. Superman is not real. You are looking for somebody that does not exist. It's a figment of your mind. Strong, got it all together. Yeah. But it's not real. Sooner or later, he takes the suit off. You trying to judge your brother by that red cape he got on. Listen. Moving fast. But you're chasing an illusion. You can't travel through life with a figment of your imagination. Superman is not real. So those of you who are waiting on the perfect man, too late. You'll spend your life at the movies. The man ain't real. God, I'm trying to help somebody today. Now, Erica, you work this out and clean this up when I get through, okay? You clean this up. But now, if you want to travel by air, God, if you want to fly high in the sky, a pilot can fly. A pilot needs a co-pilot. A pilot faces rough weather with a co-pilot. A pilot navigates through storms with a co-pilot. A pilot knows when to set this thing down and refuel so you don't burn and crash. And he realizes you need a co-pilot. Many of you are looking for a man who flies a single-engine plane. He doesn't need a co-pilot. He doesn't want a co-pilot. He's satisfied flying by himself. Now, what you're trying to do is to upgrade the brother to a 747. Oh, when I get through loving him, oh, I got to upgrade for the brother. You ain't that bad, sister. The pilot never takes off without a co-pilot. You want to find someone, you want to allow God to lead you to someone who will do life with you. You're not an additional optional extra. Pilots never take off without a co-pilot. All right, y'all didn't like that, so let's come back down to the ground. So let's travel by road. Let's road trip. Now, first decision you got to make when you get into a car for a road trip is, who's going to drive? You need to make a decision. Yeah. Who's going to drive this bad boy? And are they trying to take you to the same destination that you're planning your life for? I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying. God knows I'm trying. Who's going to drive? Now listen, don't miss this. I got it. The man shall lead. I got that. The man shall be head of your family. I got all that. But who's going to drive depends on what road you're traveling. All right, y'all didn't like that. When my life goes down Financial Boulevard, sign says Financial Boulevard, I pull that car over to the side. I get politely out of that car. I walk around to the other side and I tell my wife to take the wheel. Wait, slow your roll. My wife was the vice president of a bank. I can't balance a checkbook. Why would I hold on to the thing and lead us off into bankruptcy ditch or somewhere? Don't let your ego mess up your journey when she can do what you can't do better than you can do just because you want to be the driver. I just lost all the men right there. I'm trying to help you, brother. I'm trying to help you. I would mess that thing up because that's not the kind of road I drive on. So the idea of who's going to be the driver may depend on what road you're in, what season you're in, what trail you're taking now. But somebody's got to drive. Now, when you're driving, every now and then, on the side of the road, beware of hitchhikers. Some of you are trying to ride with hitchhikers who are not going as far as you want to go. Now, what gets me is you knew they were a hitchhiker when you picked them up. There you go again, trying to change the brother. You're going to love him into staying in your car. The brother doesn't even have baggage. He didn't come to stay. So why does your own understanding, I just told y'all to stay away from that, make you think that just because he's in your car, he's going to your house? God, I'm trying to help somebody today. I'm getting tired of myself trying to. Listen, you're on a journey. And the mistake that many of you make is you pick up hitchhikers. Now, slow your roll. Because the brother just told you, I want to go as far as the second stop. Told you that. I told you that. You didn't want to pray with the brother. You didn't want to listen to him. So you're going to try to pray him to your own destination. All right, y'all ain't got that. This is a true story. Several years ago, this couple was dating, and the brother was a law student. I think it was at Southwest, I'm not sure, maybe Pepperdine. But he was a law student, like second, third year. and he was a law student, and they met here at church. And this brother, real sharp brother, actually got a scholarship on a full ride, and he was a law student, and he said to her, he said to her at the very beginning of that relationship, the brother did not play games. He didn't, I got to give it to him, play games. He said, right now, he said, I'm really so consumed with my career. He says, I'm trying to finish school. He says, I only got about a year and a half later. And he said, I'm right now, so I'm just telling you, I don't have a lot of time. She didn't want to listen. So they started dating. It's a true story. About 6, 7, 8 months later, she wants to know why he's moving so slow. Now, the brother just told you he's not in this for the long run because he's got some other commitment. This is a true story. She calls me for a recommendation for a lawyer. I said, for what? She said, I want to sue him for breach of contract. I said, first of all, you ain't had no contract. I said, and so, I know him, and I know what he told you. The reason I know it because he told me what he told you. The man got in the car as a hitchhiker. Now watch this. The flip side would be if he hadn't told her and made her think they were going all the same way. There's a passage in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. And I think it's about verse 6, 5 or 6, something like that. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. It's very important point here. Because we're talking about a relationship likened to traveling with someone in your life. Verse 3 says this, for this is the will of the Lord, your sanctification, that is, that you abstain from sexual immorality, that each of you know how to possess his own vessel in sanctification and honor, not in lustful passion like Gentiles who often do. Next verse, watch this. Then it says that no man transgress, let no man transgress or defraud, underline that word defraud, or defraud his brother or defraud a man in this matter, because the Lord is the avenger in all these things. Look at me. Here's what it's saying. The text says this. You don't cheat and make a person think that you've made a level of commitment and you never intended to. Slow your roll. Don't shout yet. Because the text implies that the reason she thought that is because they had been sexually involved. In other words, I can't say it like that. I can't think of no clean way to say it. I can't think of no clean way to say it. Lord, help me, G. Help me. The text says, no, the idea is you made a person think a certain way because of that level of intimacy. Knowing that that level of intimacy would not lead to a level of commitment. He says, that's not fair. He said, that's not fair. That's fraud. To make someone think that because of the implication of that level of sexual involvement, knowing that you don't plan to go further than that. It's fraud. The challenge that my friend had was the man told her up front, I'm not ready. I can't afford it. I'm not this. I'm going to come back to can't afford in a minute. But he says, I'm not ready. So that you want to be in a relationship where both of you are going in the same direction, going to the same destination. Now, I don't know, and seriously, I'm admitting to y'all, I don't know how this TGIF thing flows. I don't know. TGIF? Twitter, Google, Instagram, and Facebook. So I'm admitting I don't know how that rolls now. I don't know that. Because the rules of the game have changed. This is a new generation out here. And if you're not careful, you won't hear what people say because the culture speaks louder than they do. Said it too fast, you missed it. You won't hear what a person says because you're in a culture that makes you believe and think and hear certain things that contradict what this man just said or what this woman just said. The next thing is, be careful that on this road of relationship, that you don't end up making a wrong turn. Be careful that you don't come to the crossroad and make a wrong turn. Quick. 1 Kings chapter 11. 1 Kings chapter 11. This is the Lord trying to preserve the anointing that is on Solomon. The paradox about Solomon is he was supposed to be the smartest man that ever lived. Did some dumb, stupid stuff, supposed to be so smart. So this is a passage related to Solomon, wise man. Here we go, 1 Kings chapter 11. Show you how you can make a wrong turn. But King Solomon loved many foreign women, as well as the daughter of Pharaoh. Women of the Moabites and the Ammonites and all those ites. Come on down after all the ites. Women from a nation from whom the Lord had said, here's where I'm going. You shall not intermarry with them, nor they with you. Surely they will turn away your hearts after their gods. But Solomon was in love. Bible says he was in love. Clung to her, hung on to her in love. Now watch this. Be careful that you don't bring someone into your car who will take the wheel and take you where you don't want to go. The exhortation is this. Be careful with her. Be careful with that kind of person. Be careful with that kind of person. Be careful, because that person, they will lead your heart away from God. Does anybody other than me ever know of anybody who loved the Lord, walking with the Lord, and they got hooked up with the wrong brother or wrong sister or wrong girlfriend or wrong boyfriend, and before you knew it, they just drifted away from God? Am I the only one know anybody like that? Now, the point is this. Listen to me. This is a powerful statement. The powerful statement. Their influence away from God is stronger than your influence drawing them unto God. Said it too fast. You missed it. I'm almost ready. Get ready. Let's get ready to go. In other words, he says, that's why I told last week about you evangelistic daters. You folk dating for evangelism. And you're going to lead them to Jesus. That's not what this verse just said. This verse said, be careful, because they will lead you away. Matter of fact, it says they will turn your heart. The word turn, the Hebrew word, it means to outstretch the hand. It means to extend the hand and give a turn or give a direction. And then it says, but he loved them. So it's a picture of you being so much in love that your hands are outstretched to the object of your love. And once you grip the person that you love, they turn you away from your God. I love to have fun with truth because it's still truth. Let's go home on this one. The journey into a loving relationship is a journey to a place more than a person. You missed it. I'm almost ready to go. It's a journey, we might say, to a land. We might say to a city. And in that city, God has his plan for you. Now watch this. It is not necessarily just one person in that city. Because God's will is more a circle than it is a dot. But when God connects your life with someone else, watch this now, you must then make a decision. I'm going back to the brother who was in law school. Is your goal, Lord help me, is your goal to build your house and invite someone into the house to share your life? Or is your goal to be led to someone who will help you build a house? I'm going too fast. You missed it. In other words, is your goal, well, I can't do it right now. I got to get my house. I got to get my car. And once I get that, then I look. No, I ain't saying that's right or wrong. But now, if that's your philosophy of relationships, make sure you're clear on that. Because what you're saying is, once I get it all together, now I want to find somebody and invite them into my life and into my home. That's one option. The other option is, I want to find somebody who will help me build through the good times and the bad times and the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows, so that we both are equally invested and stand back and see what God did through us, because he brought us together to serve him as we love one another. Preach, Bishop. I'm about ready to go. Let's go, Kenny. Listen. You must make some philosophical decisions. You must make some decisions on a principle level. When you come to that seminar, we're going to give you some practical stuff, some down-to-earth stuff, some real stuff. But all of those decisions will be based on various philosophical positions and various decisions that you've made before you come to that seminar. So life is like a journey. I was a little boy. We would take a family trip every summer. And before we would leave, we'd pack up this 1955 Chevy, we'd pack it up, and we would sit in the driveway of our house in East St. Louis, 1124 to East St. Louis. And we'd sit there, and before we left, my daddy would pray for our journey. Now, when it dawned on me, we would always leave so early that it was still dark. So Daddy would pray in the dark before the journey into light. I want to pray. The Bible says God can give you a spouse. We'll talk later on about how God gives you a desire. That's why some of you are trying to hook up with folk and you really don't like that person that well. No, I'm not trying to be funny. No. Because y'all know some folk, don't we? It ain't quite a good match, you know. But he's Superman. And he ain't real. My daddy would pray in the dark before we journeyed into light. I want to close. I don't know what it is. I do know. It's the culture. I read a statistic a while back about how millennials, that's getting to be an old term. Matter of fact, y'all know millennials, y'all old now. Y'all. I just want y'all to know, it's a whole group coming on behind y'all. But it said millennials are not getting married the way they used to. And the rate going down, all that kind of stuff. But I want to pray. Because I believe there's some folk who are not going to get married. Some folk don't want to get married. And ain't nothing wrong with them. But I believe that God will have some of you stand before him and say, you have not because you ask not. Yeah. I want to pray, and then we're out of here, for sanctified love affairs. I want to pray that God would holify every relationship in this room. I pray that God would speak to you and say to someone, you are trying to find the best mate, but you're not committed to being the best me. You're trying to find the best mate, but you're not working on you enough. My wife and I know a young lady back in the Midwest and met this guy, and he wasn't Superman. He was kind of close, though. He was kind of close, good-looking brother, professional guy. And I've never heard anybody put it this blunt, but I get the brother's point. This is a true story. They sat down for lunch somewhere, and they started talking about relationship. And he said to her, hey, hey, I don't mean no harm, but you ain't bringing nothing to the table. Now, that sounds cold, but bless that man. No, he wasn't playing games. He said, you ain't bringing nothing to the table. And he wasn't trying to be arrogant. He was saying, this is not a good match. There's maybe somebody else better for you. And I know there's somebody else better for me. He said, but you're not bringing anything to the table. He said, I want somebody who's going to help me build together. Now, everybody doesn't want that. Some may be like the brother in law school who wants to get out and get a house, or like my friend. I have a friend. And she said, this is a true story. She's a nurse. Matter of fact, she teaches nursing now at UCLA. And she said, by the time I'm 30, I want a diamond ring. She said, by the time I'm 35, I want a full-length black mink coat. By the time I'm 40, I want to own my second house. By the time I'm 30, I want a diamond ring. By the time I'm 35, I want a full-length black mink coat, black glamour, whatever they call it, black mink coat. And she said, by the time I'm 40, I want my second house. She teaches nursing at UCLA. When she was 30, she bought her own self a diamond ring. I'm not trying to be funny. And when she was 35, she walked up 90-degree weather in a full-length black. Girlfriend bought her own self black llama, black blonde, whatever it is, black phone, and she's on her like fourth, fifth house now. By the time she was 40, she was getting ready to move into her second house. Now, that didn't mean she didn't want to, listen, that didn't mean she didn't want to be in a relationship. What she did say was, I'm not going to put my life on hold. I'm not going to stop living just because I need somebody to do that. I got enough to get my own. The question is, like this man said to this sister who kind of hurt her feelings, what are you bringing to the table? What kind of commitments are you bringing to the table? What kind of strength do you bring in? What kind of values do you bring in? And then where do you go from there? The text begins with you and God. Trust in the Lord. It means that you put your faith in Him. It means that you are in a relationship with God, and in that relationship, your faith is growing, and you trust in the Lord in all your ways. It means that you're in a relationship with Him and you lean not to your own understanding. It means you're in a relationship with Him and you trust Him to direct your path.